Well, y'all know what time of the year it is. We're in the dead heat of the summer, and you're about to start seeing a bunch of BS circulating on interwebs. I've seen all kind of headlines floating around, from Dak Prescott's not happy with the Cowboys to the Cowboys are apparently getting ready to make a blockbuster trade. Yeah, it's cap, but let's go ahead and entertain this and kind of talk about the merits of this particular scenario, as there's a projected trade going around the internet concerning the Cowboys and a team that's in the middle of a fire sale.
And for those of y'all that really want to support the channel, y'all tell me all the time how much y'all love and enjoy the content and how much y'all love and enjoy the Dallas Cowboys. Well, why don't you support something that puts both of those things together and check out the official Dak Attack OG merch line on Bonfire. Whether it's a t-shirt, a hoodie, a sweatshirt, you can copy you some Dak Attack merch with the signature for a logo on it in cream, royal blue, black, white, a variety of different colors for affordable pricing. Be sure to check the link out in the pinned comment and description below. Help support your boy. Now let's get back to the video.
Oh, and run my Instagram up for me, y'all. We almost at 1,000 followers over there on Instagram. Run my IG up for me, man. The more y'all do for me, the more I can start doing for y'all. Giveaways, all that kind of stuff. So work with me here. Help me help you, man. Help me help you. But to the main attraction, Cowboys secure CeeDee Lamb insurance with blockbuster projected trade. First and foremost, I do not think that the trade that they proposed in this article would be considered a quote-unquote blockbuster trade by any stretch of the imagination, especially once you all hear who the player actually is, right? So we have this article written by Richard Lewis, and this is on sportdfw.com. Probably has no real source, rhyme, or reason as to why he's writing this, other than just trying to correlate some dots together, essentially, right? So the Cowboys could potentially land a running mate for CeeDee Lamb by making a trade for a former Pro Bowl wide receiver by way of Courtland Sutton. Courtland Sutton is the wide receiver that played with the Denver Broncos this past season, and you may have seen him in different situations, catching long bombs and dropping a lot of passes in dire situations, not to mention the fumbles, but we're going to get to all that in just a second. But Courtland Sutton is a 6'4", 28-year-old wide receiver who has caught 298 receptions on 511 targets for 4,259 receiving yards and 24 touchdowns in his career. Just last season, he finished with 772 receiving yards and a career high 10 touchdowns. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. This whole article is disqualified because this person is still quoting the all-in quote from Jerry Jones, thinking that that has anything to do with outside players or player acquisition, and that is not at all what the hell he was talking about. It was mainly about player retainment, all right? But either way, like I said, let's entertain this, right? So Courtland Sutton, would I want him on the Cowboys? Should you want a wide receiver like Courtland Sutton on the Cowboys? Well, I can tell you this right now. Dak Prescott would probably like having this type of target on his team because he likes big receivers. We saw this with a guy like a Noah Brown. We saw this with a Bryce Butler. Obviously, he had Dez for the first part of his career, but Dak likes throwing to bigger targets, and a lot of the times he'll turn no-name receivers, and just because they have a big body and some athletic ability, he'll turn those guys into decent enough receivers to get a second contract in the NFL, which is an accomplishment all in its own, right? But Courtland Sutton, 6'4", nice frame, athletic, deep ball guy, give you some good yard after the catch. He's pretty much done that throughout his career, give you a decent amount of yak. But the issue that I have with this move, and why I would much rather just go with Jalen Tolbert, is, for one, the main reason we're even talking about Courtland Sutton is because he's in the middle of a contract dispute with the Denver Broncos. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't need any more dudes waiting on contracts on our roster. I'm going to just say that right now. So for anybody looking to write an article or any reporter looking to drop some clickbait, if it pertains to any dudes that don't have contracts guaranteed until at least next season or the season after that, it's not happening here, bro. Especially talking about bringing in Courtland Sutton, who's holding out from the Denver Broncos, or who was going to hold out from the Denver Broncos, but he realized he couldn't afford to lose that money. Courtland Sutton another wide receiver when the Cowboys haven't even signed their primary wide receiver yet. This makes no sense from a business standpoint. From a team building standpoint, it could and would make sense a little bit if Courtland Sutton wasn't fresh off of ankle surgery, bro. He's fresh off of ankle surgery. He wants a new contract. He had a bad case of the dropsies last season, dropping 6 passes last year. And not to mention, he's not necessarily going to help contribute to that toughness culture we're trying to build with the Cowboys. If you lay a hat on this dude, he will cough that ball up. A receiver fumbling 3 times in a season is absolutely ridiculous and irreprehensible. That cannot happen, and it should not happen. And that, along with the other stuff I just mentioned, is probably part of the reason the Broncos aren't sold on this guy, even though they don't really have any other receivers on their roster outside of Courtland Sutton at this point. They already got rid of Jerry Jeudy. They got Courtland Sutton and probably a bunch of young and no-name dudes is going to be on that roster. The Broncos are 100% in the fire sale, and Courtland Sutton's name is probably going to end up being one that's popular around the time the trade deadline picks up, or even during training camp whenever some of these teams start making cuts or whatever it may be. But I'm going to be honest, before I look at a guy that's getting close to 30 at the wide receiver position, fresh off of surgery, I'm rolling with Jalen Tolbert. I don't know what it is with everybody trying to just immediately skip over one of our own guys, quote unquote, especially when we know he's been putting in some extra work with Dak Prescott, and that connection should be a little bit more consistent this season. I fully expect Jalen Tolbert to be one of the 3 guys on the team this year that I think is going to have a breakout season according to the standards that their role on the team will qualify as a breakout season. So obviously, if Jalen Tolbert's wide receiver 3 on the roster, I'm not expecting him to have a 1,000-yard receiving season, but should he have about 500, 600, 700 receiving yards and a couple of big plays and big moments? I am expecting that. I'm not going to get into the other guys I think we're going to have breakout seasons because we're going to save that for its own dedicated video probably a little bit later this week. But all in all, would I take Courtland Sutton on the team? Not really. I'm going to be completely honest. I wouldn't take this dude at all due to the combination of off-the-field factors that I was talking about and his lack of ball security. Between the drops, fumbling, ankle surgery, 28 years old, wants a new contract. Absolutely not. All of that stuff sounds like a recipe for disappointment, and Dallas fans in general have had enough disappointment. That's all I'm going to say, all right? But either way, Courtland Sutton to the Cowboys, no, sir. Not happening. Wouldn't put too much stock into that. And if it did happen, I would be very, very confused as to what the hell the Joneses are doing, because you still got 3 other guys that need contracts. And you don't have any time to be bringing in a guy that wants a new contract. I'm just saying that now. But either way, we stink them same old Cowboys. Damn! And I'll see you guys on the next one. I almost messed my desk up.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still involved? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still in boys. Hey! Woo! Oh, shut up, my boy. Hey! I'm still in boys.